Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Math 30-1, Chapter 3, Section 4, Combined Transformations, Part 4. Finally, last nasty question. Use the following information to answer the next question. The graph of y equals g of x is the image of the graph y equals f of x after a combination of transformations. So, this is f of x right here. Becomes g of x down here. So, the question goes, the graph of y equals f of x undergoes an a by a factor of b, a reflection in the c, and a translation of d to become y equals g of x. Okay. So the graph undergoes a by a factor of. So that's some sort of stretch. A reflection and a translation. So let's figure out what's the stretch. Remember, it goes SRT. So the stretch. Well, that's easy, because we look at the original function, and we go, okay, this goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 units across. The transform functions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So, horizontal stretch, no. E equals 1. So it has to be a vertical stretch. So we go look at the function, and we go... This function, the original function is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units tall. The transformed function is 2.5. So that gives us a vertical stretch by a factor of 1/2. So it's a vertical, it undergoes a vertical stretch by a factor of 1/2. Now, so it's 1/6. Then we go, says a reflection in the, now does this reflect across the x or the y-axis? Now this is starting to hurt my brain, but let's look at it closely. Let me see. It goes, well, it's not a reflection across the y-axis because the y-axis, oh, it could be. That's interesting. Oh, sorry. I'm talking to myself. So there's options here. Are we reflecting across the x or the y? If we reflect across the y-axis, this could work. They end up with a peak over here and a trough over here. Ah. Yes, it has to be across the y-axis. Sorry, I'm doing this in my head. A reflection across the x-axis would mean we'd have... Ooh, that works too. Okay, this is getting... No, my apologies, I'm sorry. I'm blathering on, and I should be more specific because I can feel the confusion through the video. Now, here, is this a reflection across the x or the y? Now, I don't know, so let's compare them. If this is a reflection across the x-axis, what's going to happen? We're going to end up, this trough will become a peak, and this peak will become a trough. So, uh-oh, this might happen. Now, let's look at it carefully. Now, the other thing is the size. This is 2 units. This is 2 units wide. This is 3 units wide. This peak is 3 units wide, so I think it is a reflection across the x-axis. Okay? Now, let me explain that. If we went across the y-axis, what would happen? If we went across the y, this peak would end up as a peak over here. But look at slope or steepness. This peak is 2 wide. This peak is 3 wide. Not the same width. And that only happens when we start having horizontal stretches. So it cannot be across the y-axis. It must be across the x. Okay? So it's across the x-axis, not the y. Sneaky. And I apologize. I did not explain that as eloquently as I liked. Oh, 7, sorry. And D, there's one more question, my bad. And a translation of D. So, come on, you can erase, yes you can. So, what happened here? The whole thing moved right 3. This point moved right 3, as everything moved 3 to the right. So it becomes a translation, a horizontal, a translation of 3 units right. Okay, so 1, 6, 7, 9. And you look at that and you go, wow, there's no way I could guess that. And yes, that's a nasty question to be worth 1 point on the diploma. But it's something I expect you to be able to do. Now, I'm going to stop now because it's getting embarrassing how many foolish mistakes I make. I'm going to have you watch the video, and you can work on the homework, please. Any questions, shoot me an email. Otherwise, good luck.